If you would ask 100 random people what their favorite work by Vincent van Gogh is, you will probably end up with many votes for his Sunflowers or The Starry Night. I'm curious to hear your favorite work of Van Gogh in the comment section down below. But what if we could ask Van Gogh himself about his favorite work? What would his answer be? While this is of course not possible, we are lucky to have many letters that Van Gogh wrote that have survived. He frequently sent letters to his brother, but also to his mother and other friends. And in these letters, he often described the paintings he is working on and the ones he completed. Most of the time, he discusses them in descriptive terms, sometimes at length, sometimes just as a matter of fact. For example, all he writes to his brother Theo about his famous Starry Night is: "I now have a landscape with olive trees, and also a new study of a starry sky." Looking at all his letters, there's one painting that he seems more satisfied with than any other, and it is Almond Blossom, painted in February 1890. He painted it for his nephew, the son of his brother Theo, who was born the month before. And before citing from Van Gogh's letters, it is good to know that his nephew was named Vincent, after his uncle Vincent van Gogh. On February 20, 1890, 3 weeks after the birth of his nephew, Van Gogh writes to his mother: "For days I have been meaning to answer your letter, but I did not get around to writing because I was painting from morning to night, and so the time passed. I imagine that you, like me, will be thinking of Joe and Theo a lot. How pleased I was when the message came that everything had gone well. It was a very good thing Will stayed on. I would have liked it much better if he had called his boy after Pa, of whom I have been thinking so often these days, than after me, but still, as that is the way it is, I have started straight away to do a painting for him to hang in their bedroom. Large branches of white almond blossom against the blue sky." So that is the painting we see here entitled Almond Blossom. 2 months later, Van Gogh writes his mother again: "Work was going well. You'll see that the last canvas of branches in blossom was perhaps the best and most patiently worked one I had done, painted calmly and with great certainty of touch. Then, the next day I was completely wiped out. It's difficult to understand things like that, but that, Allah, is how things are." As you can hear, Van Gogh said, "It's perhaps the best and most patiently worked one I had done." That still leaves some room for other works that he may have liked even more, and on top of that, he still painted some works after this one, although he would die a few months later. However, when reading through all of Van Gogh's letters, Almond Blossom is the one he seems most enthusiastic about. Many other times, he just describes the work he had done, or expresses his feelings of doubt or satisfaction. But none of the other letters have the same enthusiasm for work than he had done for Almond Blossom. Interestingly, Van Gogh liked his work so much that he wanted to paint more trees in blossom. But he had fallen ill after painting Almond Blossom, and by the time he had recovered, the blossoming season was almost over. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below this video to support the channel, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts about Almond Blossom. Thanks for watching.